It is 3 o'clock and we have a quorum. Do you want to start recording?
Let's go ahead and do so. All right, call the meeting to order, and I guess you can go ahead and commence with roll call.
Okay, Dorsey?
Here.
Eldridge? Here. Larson?
Here.
Littlejohn?
Here.
And Smith?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you all for being here, and I'll go ahead and move us on to item B, public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to give us the rundown, the notice, if you would.
Oh, it's on the agenda now. We don't.
Okay.
We don't do that anymore. You're good. We're good with moving to public comment. There's no one in person and no one online from the public.
Okay. All right. I'll move us on to item C then. Approve the minutes. I would assume that everybody's had a chance to go ahead and look at them, but if not, I'll give you a minute or two, and then after that, I would entertain a motion.
This is Gene Dorsey. I move that July 17th, 2025 minutes be approved as submitted.
Do I have a second out there?
Second.
All right. Have a first and a second from Gene Dorsey, a second from Lisa Larson, and believe we'll go to a roll call vote to go ahead and vote on the minutes there or approve the
Dorsey?
Aye.
Eldridge?
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay. Larson?
I wasn't here. I stayed.
Okay. Littlejohn?
Approved. Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0 with 2 abstentions.
All right. Thank you all. We'll move us on to item D, agenda items. All right. We'll start off with number 1, the Transportation Improvement Program Amendment number 2.
Thank you. I'm sharing my screen here. This is the second scheduled amendment for the 2025 to 2028 Transportation Improvement Program. The TIP implements the Long Range Transportation Plan T2050. This amendment is associated with the addition and revisions of costs and schedules for roadway projects, bike ped infrastructure, and transit operations. Additionally, text has been revised to comply with the new US DOT guidance pertaining to the interpretation of federal non-discrimination laws. This document was put out for a 15-day public comment from July 22nd to August 6th, and no public comments were received. There are 7 projects being amended in the proposed TIP before you today, and 1 new project. The new project proposed is as follows. TIP number 154 is a Eudora project proposing to mill and overlay Main Street, 10th Street, and Church Street, and add ADA ramps, bike ped markings, signage, and new curb and gutters. The amended projects are as follows. TIP number 402, incorporated bus stop funding into TIP number 607. TIP number 152, revised K33 reconstruction to move funding from 2030 to 2025. TIP number 250, revised the Bob Billings expansion project to move construction to 2026. And then TIPs number 519, 524, and 525, revise the funding for various safe routes to school projects in Lawrence and Eudora. And then TIP number 607, revise the Mass Street Multimodal Improvement Project to include the TERP award and adjusted funding to include 2027 costs. Additional information on these projects can be found in the TIP amendment agenda item. MPO TAC recommended unanimous approval for this TIP amendment at their meeting on August 5th. Staff is requesting the policy board approve amendment 2 for the fiscal year 25 to 28 TIP amendment. And should this be approved, it will be forwarded to KDOT for inclusion in the September STIP, not the S sounds, amendment. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
I do have a question. Does that mean that whatever accessible bus stops might have been moving forward, they're just abandoned now? No.
No, so that was TIP number 402 was incorporated into tip number 607. So we realized during this amendment that there were two tips sort of doing the same thing, and transit asked us to merge the two. So they're still doing the same project. It's just now all incorporated under tip number 607.
Okay, because when it said 14th to 23rd, I didn't know if that meant that it was including accessible bus stops there. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
And if you would, in terms of, I know that we're kind of modeling this language off of US DOT and also KDOT, and which has helped us, kind of navigate this. If you would go into a little bit further, I know you talked about the 15-day notice and just any sort of, if it was sent out to media or any sort of other additional public comment that was made on this item, just for reference for the committee.
Yeah, thank you. The MPO staff followed our public participation plan for our tip amendment. That means that we post the tip for a public comment period that was from July 22nd through August 6th. We release that with a press release to our email list, which includes media. Post a paid public notice in the LJ World. We post it on our website and make paper copies available upon request that we notify in the press release and at our advertised locations. So for that, it may be our like the public library. Correct. No public comments were received. We also then have the item on the Technical Advisory Committee agenda on August 5th. That agenda is posted in advance, a week advance of the meeting, with an email going out to our TAC email list, which also includes the media. No comments were received in writing or in person at the meeting. And that's when CC mentioned that TAC recommended approval. The item is then posted on this agenda, which goes out via our email list to our MPO policy board, which also includes our media contacts list. And we haven't received any public comments in writing, and it appears no one has showed up online to comment. So we do mention that the public notice and text on the front page of the amendment summary specifically states that additional text has been revised to comply with new US DOT guidance pertaining to the interpretation of federal non-discrimination laws, and that posted version of the text that we included shows in red markups of all the edits that were made to the document. And that whole document could be found online as part of that amendment. So hopefully that clarifies the opportunities for notice that were received via our processes that we commit to in our adopted public participation plan.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure that was out there as well. Any questions for Jessica on this one?
Also, how our VPN works.
All right. Not hearing any. Okay. Then I would, I guess, there are no further questions and nobody to go ahead and comment on this. So I guess I'll go ahead and move us to, I would entertain a motion on it.
Point of information, there's been no one in person nor online indicating they would like to provide public comment on this item at this meeting as well.
Jane Eldridge, and I would make a motion to approve the FFY 2025-2028 Transportation Improvement Program Amendment 2.
Lisa
This
Larson,
is Gene
second.
Dorsey. Oh,
All right. I think we had a tie for second between Lisa
that's
and
right.
Gene.
Lisa won.
Okay. Motion by Jane and second by Lisa. All right, Jessica, if you would go ahead with the roll call, please.
Dorsey,
Yes.
Eldridge,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Littlejohn,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Okay, I'll move us on to item 2. 2025 Cooperative Agreement between the L-DC MPO and KDOT and Lawrence Transit.
Thank you very much. So this was included on the agenda as this document is bureaucratic by nature, but updated due to the Lawrence Douglas County MPO's move from the Planning and Development Services Department into the Municipal Services and Operations Department. We changed the redesignation agreement earlier this year, which went to city commission for approval. And then the cooperative agreement really just states how will the MPO, transit, and KDOT all work together to accomplish our shared goals within the transportation plans and the TIP and things of that nature. So it didn't make any substantive changes. It just changed the technical pieces, aligning with our new change to MSO rather than PDS. The last cooperative agreement was signed by the prior planning director. And so we were just changing it, aligned with KDOT's guidance to have the chair of the MPO policy board sign it. So should this be approved, we'll send it to you, Commissioner Littlejohn, and then Felice as Director of Transit, and then on to KDOT. And it'll just become part of the many agreements KDOT oversees and the documents included on our MPO website. I believe after this, the redesignation agreement outlines that both the cooperative agreement would be improved, edited, updated, that was the word I was looking for, as well as the bylaws. So you'll likely see an edited set of bylaws, again, with just that primary change from PDS to MSO. And if it needs to be signed, I'll bring it to this body.
Okay, sounds simple enough. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, and as a point of order, just checking again, nobody in there for public comment?
Correct, no one is in person to provide public comment, nor has anyone raised their hand online.
Okay, if there are no other questions or further discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Jane Eldridge and I would move that we approve the 2025 cooperative agreement between the Lawrence Douglas County Metropolitan Planning Organization, the Kansas Department of Transportation, and the City of Lawrence.
What was that? I didn't quite hear that. Was that Lisa? Was that Lisa?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
That was Jane Eldridge.
Oh, it's okay, Jane. Okay. All right, Gene. Now's your time to shine.
Okay, I second.
All right. I'll at least wanted to give you one. All right. I have a first and a second. Jessica, if you can go ahead with the roll call.
Dorsey,
Yes.
Eldridge,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Littlejohn,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you all. I'll go ahead and move us on to the item E, quick updates.
We have included the link on the agenda to the Kansas Department of Transportation local consult process. The dates are scheduled for this fall for KDOT's process for public engagement for the IKE program, which is held every 2 years to gather input from Kansas communities on potential expansion and modernization projects for our roadways. It's a way that they work with locals to hear local priorities and have conversations about approaches they're taking to improve project delivery. Typically, the MPO region has attendees throughout the region from local government or elected officials attend, and there's the whole list of statewide opportunities. We have historically attended either the Topeka or Kansas City opportunities for District 1. So that information is linked and available for your information.
Last time, did you suggest if we could to attend both the Topeka and the Kansas City one?
I think some people use that as a strategy. Some people divide and conquer. I think it's about availability of dates. I don't know that you have to attend both. It'll be from KDOT's perspective, and Allison can speak if I say differently, but they have the same meeting. So, so it's the same meeting. It doesn't change. They're going to receive your feedback at either of those for the region and area in the process that they use. They'll typically have presented the projects they have on their radar. They score those projects. They give you that scoring and provide it to you to share those projects. The last version of local consult, they had breakout meetings that were for topical areas. So transit, bike ped, other, I don't know if safety was one, and they use those as ways you can go and talk in that group to learn more about work or share information related to those topic areas that may be related to projects you're concerned or interested in.
Okay.
Jessica.
It should,
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
was just
Alex.
say it should be as Jessica described. Generally that's the same format. So if you've heard the main part once, you're likely to hear the same thing again. It's more just the breakouts that different projects kind of rise to the top and get discussed. So attending both is a very good idea since Lawrence in particular, as we all know, has a lot of connectivity to Kansas City and Topeka. So attending both would not be a bad idea.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think last year did not go, wasn't it in Lenexa last year?
Yes,
Yeah.
That sounds
yes.
right.
Yeah. So through coordination, we'll be in coordination with more of the technical advisory committee partners to make sure they're aware. They all send, I would say, I think most of the cities in this region or in our MPO send representation to the meetings. Of course, they sometimes invite, like the city of Lawrence, I know tries to invite the chamber, or they invite elected officials to come and share whatever documentation they put together about the transportation projects that are of interest in their area. So some cities have more robust materials they've put together to present something that they're interested, if, you know, depending on what level of project information they have about some project they're looking for funding for. So
So do you present the material for the city of Lawrence or the county of Douglas, or do the elected officials do that?
generally, we have weighed in when Lawrence has invited us to have conversation in that space, because they have been, you know, it was a regional project and priority to SLT. That's the project we've been talking about for the last 10 years, right? And so as that's evolving, and obviously that's under construction, I think some of those new changes evolve in terms of what now needs to be advocated for in terms of, we'll be looking at coordination with regional priorities, whether that's safety for Vision Zero or other things called for in our long range transportation plan. And so we would go and represent anything in the region that the cities would give to us, or things that they've talked to us about in terms of wanting to share messaging on. So it's kind of our role. Yeah.
Historically, has the county done anything regarding unincorporated areas?
I can't speak specifically. I don't recall ever seeing anything that was a printed material. But I do believe they would have had staff probably present.
I know Keith Browning used to attend
Yeah.
both.
I mean, I don't have a roll call, but I would have assumed
Gotcha.
people go. We share this with our technical advisory committee, of which the public works director of the county is on that committee.
Oh,
Other cities, like I know Eudora has been before, because they have interest in a project they were working on funding. So it really just depends. I assume maybe Baldwin City has also been before. Again, you're quoting memory from 2 years ago already, so because they do this every 2 years, but we often are aware of the projects everybody is working on because they're in our plans, right? They come from our plans, they're regionally consistent with our plans, and that's part of the messaging that we want to share with KDOT is, you know, elevate and implement the planning work that we're doing in the larger statewide picture for that coordination.
So I wouldn't go and just say, I'd like to have my street wider, please.
I mean, some people do that. I have seen people at these meetings before who are advocating because they have a loved one who has died in a crash or other things, and they're advocating for safety improvements, and that's a space that they're welcome to come and do that. But traditionally, it's not members of the public at large. It's more KDOT talking to local governments who are doing this work on behalf of the residents that live in their area. Thank you.
Yeah, I know that, especially when I went the last time, I mostly just tried not to, try not to embarrass Jessica and the rest of them, just try to at least have a good showing. So.
Yeah. Well, in which case in that space, it's easy to do that. It's easy to know what the talking points are because we have some things identified in our plans. And so we're talking about implementing our plans, and that's the message. In that space. And, we have a new Vision Zero plan. So there's some things in there we'll be probably looking at. We'd encourage everyone to look at. There's safety or other large capital projects that are kind of on that periphery. SLT, of course, was the big one, but there was additional widening and like US 40
Yeah.
west, and that was another project. We talked about partners at the airport were concerned about aviation funding. Partners at transit are concerned about funding for a variety of different things over time have been, whether it was operations or other improvements or capital. And so it's an opportunity really to speak to the state about the importance and value of their funding to accomplish our goals.
And all levity aside, Jessica and the rest of MPO were really good about breaking it out in terms of having a strategy to, try to attend the relevant breakout sessions and, kind of have talking points if there was an opportunity to go ahead and talk and, advocate for our area or areas, advocate for Eudora, or advocate for Baldwin City, or advocate for Lawrence, in terms of certain projects that were in proximity to those cities. So.
Yeah, that is, Commissioner, a suggestion I was going to make was that there were multiple people that attend, and if you do attend each one, so that way when we do the breakout sessions, you can have, Commissioner Littlejohn with one group, somebody with aviation, Jessica in another group, so that your voices and your concerns are brought up in the various modal and breakout groups. Instead of just being limited to one. So that is a good strategy to employ. And there's no limit at all for how many people from which jurisdiction. So
That is true. I remember that.
It's not a concern. Usually it's in like a big hotel or something like that. So we're not necessarily space limited. So it's a good time.
All right.
I think tea and coffee is about the extent to what you get.
Always at a convention center for the snacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, please, if you're thinking about attending or want to attend, I believe I'll try to go ahead and make it out there as well. Please, kind of check it out with Jessica and crew and make sure that, we can kind of have a strategy to go ahead and cover as wide an area as possible. So anyone doesn't have any further questions on this one, I'll move us on to other business. All right. Yeah. Any other business, Jessica?
I do not at this time. I would say we'll keep working on things and bring them to you as it's appropriate.
All right. Well, I want to give you guys back some of your time. So next meeting is September 18th, 2025, or another date set by the MPO Policy Board. And I guess after that.
At this point in time, we do not have any items for a September agenda. So unless that changes, you may see a cancellation from us.
Okay. Cool. All right. Like I said, I'll give you back your time. If you don't have anything else, I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and conclude this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Guys.
Thank you.